Good morning, Floss Tube. It's Julie with Reflections Framing and Stitching. Today is Saturday. It is the 26th of February, and this is Chart of the Week video number 127. Welcome. How are you? I'm doing good. The sun is shining. It's supposed to warm up. We've been in the deep freeze all week, so I'm looking forward to the warmer weather. It looks like it's going to be really nice here while we're in Tennessee. I haven't looked to see what the forecast will be for Tennessee yet, but I'm hoping it'll be nice there too. So, let's see. I want you all to wish Remy a happy birthday. She's 3 years old today. I think Dan's going to go buy her a cake or some such silly thing like that. Like she knows it's her birthday, but... So happy birthday to Remy. That's Dan's dog, just in case you didn't know. She hasn't made an appearance on the videos for a while. So anyway, it is her birthday. So how was your week? Mine was good. Pretty busy with market stuff again. It's starting to level out. Sneak peeks are pretty much, if they were going to put out a sneak peek, it's already out, I think. Yeah, most of my time was spent inputting into the system and taking orders, making sure that my spreadsheet was up to date. So no stitching on my part. I hope you guys made up for it for me. And I think we'll just get started on question of the week from last week and go on from there. So I had asked what your wants were from market, and I just have to say that a lot of you have way more self-control than I have. There's a lot that I like this year, a lot, and some of you hadn't even looked, and I'm like, whoa, that's some great self-control. I don't have that. Right now, at this point in my life, if I want it, I'm going to get it, because I think once Dan retires, there won't be any of that going on. So anyway, thank you for sharing what you like at market. It was quite varied. There were a few trends that I saw as far as people wanting this. Teresa Kogut was really popular. Jeanette Douglas's Matter in Hand is really popular. Plum Street has two that are really popular. So it was interesting to see what caught your eye. For those of you who looked, who couldn't stand it and looked. So thank you for answering that question. Thank you for all the comments from last week. I think you guys must have been busy because we were down a little bit on comments, but I do appreciate each and every one of them. I have some questions that people asked and some comments that I wanted to talk about, so I think we'll move on to that. Linda suggested, this is from the video before, a Dupco or Dupco stand, D-U-P-K-O. I looked online to see if I could find one, and I wasn't able to find it. So if anyone knows where I can get a look at it, please leave a comment below for me. Debbie asked if Seraphim's Harvest Blessing comes in a 14 count Aida. It does. I don't happen to have it, but it does come in a 14 count Aida. So I'm sure you could find it out there somewhere. Probably at some point I will have it back in stock, and but not right at this moment in time. Let's see. Peg asked me, as a shop owner, what my favorite fabric is, i.e. the maker, the color, the size. That's a tough ask as far as favorite. Favorite count. I can answer that. It's 40 count. I prefer stitching with one strand of floss. I think 36 count one strand isn't quite enough coverage for me. and on and 2 strands is too much coverage for me. It gets a little bulky, especially if you have some solid stitching. So 40 count is my go-to. I like 46 count. I just have to, because it takes your eyes a while to adjust. I've had this conversation a couple of times this week with customers who've been in saying, oh, I can't stitch on that. I can't stitch on that. And I'm gonna go out on a limb, and I'm gonna say that for most of you, you could stitch on it. You have to give your eyes time to adjust, though. So if I'm going to stitch on 46 count, I need to stick to 46 count and not go, okay, my eyes are tired, I'm just going to go to 32 count. Your eyes aren't going to adjust. It takes probably 3 days of stitching, depending on how long you stitch, for your eyes to adjust to a different count. So you probably can. It's just whether you're willing to put that time in to not be real happy at first, because it will be a struggle. So I've stitched on 56 count before, and that's not a bad thing. I could see it. It's good quality fabric. You just need that thinner floss to stitch on it, and I don't happen to carry much of that, so I tend not to go there. 40 count is my happy place, but I can stitch on pretty much all of it except for 45 count. That's a different fabric base. 45 count is a different fabric base, and you might as well just take your sheets off your bed and stitch on it, because that's pretty much how it looks to me. And I've given it a shot. I tried and I tried and I tried, and my eyes just could not see that fabric. So there are rare occasions where your eyes aren't going to adjust and you can't see it, and that was one of them. So that covers my favorite count. Color, that one's tough for me because it all depends on the chart. I tend to prefer darker colors, and I tend to prefer neutrals, because then they go in almost every room. Although I do have a few things on color that, like I'm working on the Noel sampler with a needle and thread, and that called for a neutral, and I put it on a blue. So, but large portion of what I stitch on is probably neutrals. Maker, I'm going to say pretty much whatever I can get my hands on at this point in time. I probably prefer like Lakeside Linens. I like Seraphim a lot. Color and Cotton is good. I like Stephanie's, but you can never get it. I've not tried Xju. I see she's in a lot of models for market, but I haven't tried hers yet. There's a couple new dyers that are going to be at market. I'm pretty sure I probably won't get any of theirs, but I'm hoping they'll at least have samples I can look at. We'll see. I don't know. I know Fox and Rabbit has 2 new colors that they're bringing to. I like their fabric too, by the way. They're bringing 2 new colors to market, but they didn't take pre-orders. They're limiting the amount that the shops can have in the hopes that more shops can get it. I don't know if I want to. I would have to post someone outside their door, I think, the night before in order to get some. But I don't know. I'll have to. I don't know if I want to do that or not. I don't know. That's a tough one, because then that person is locked into standing in that line until they get into the room. And you do that, and then you miss out a lot of times on you know, market exclusives or limited editions or things like that that maybe you didn't get pre-ordered for one reason or another. You can only be in so many places at once. So that's one of my big market questions is, where am I going to put my 3 helpers? You know, in what, where am I sending them first? So Maker, I like them. I like Picture This Plus. I know a lot of people don't like the higher counts of Picture This Plus, but I have no problems with that. So Maker is not as important to me as the color. So, and I always pull my threads first before I pick a fabric color, because you just never know what. Yes, the designer can recommend a color that works with maybe the colors that she has, but if she's had those colors in her stash for years, you know that the dye lots have changed. So I always pull, which is why I also always kit up what I'm putting into my stash. I always kit it up with the floss and the fabric, because I want to make sure that everything works well. So one of my hard and fast rules, and this is just me, you do you, always you do you, but just me, I always choose my floss first and get fabric that goes with that particular dye lot of floss. So hopefully, Peg, that answered your question. Karen asked, she's looking for an 18 count modeled old looking fabric for a sampler, and she asked what I would choose. This goes back to the floss choices. I would need to pull the floss first before I would make an actual recommendation. I did pull some 18 count Aida to show you, to give you an idea. But again, I would need to have the floss. That's how I roll. This is an 18 count everything else from Mystic Fabrics. And it has a mottled look. It's lighter in color, but it does have that nice mottled old look. Not as old as some, but it does give a nice modeling. I would have recommended antique lace from Seraphim if it always looked like this one. But the last time it came in a lot more, I don't know, almost gray looking. It's still mottled and it would still work, but I like this color better. And I don't know if you're able to tell the difference, but in person I can tell the difference. There's almost a bluish to the newer color, dye lot. That's what I'm looking for, dye lot. This is 18 count old stationery from, I believe it's Seraphim. Yep. It's a darker color, but it has some subtle modeling. I prefer more subtle to the bold modeling. Unless, of course, you have, you know, if you've got a lot of stitching in it. By the time you get the stitching on it, it really doesn't matter. It's just a personal preference of mine. And this is 18 count Tobias. I believe it's also a Seraphim. And it's darker yet. So again, it's all going to be dependent on the colors of your floss. So hopefully that gave you some ideas of what you could look for. Deborah, I just want to say we have a lot of the same favorites from Market. You listed 3 or 4 of what your have-to-haves, and I think 3 of those 4 are also on my have-to-haves. So we both have good taste. Becky wants me to share if I change the colors on the Teresa Kogut sampler, the blue one. I don't know that I will because I really like how it looks, but I might. I don't know. I'm going to wait, pull the floss, and get a feel for it before I make a decision. Amy wants to know when the next Dan and Julie show will be. That is a very good question, and I don't know. Sorry, I was sick again. I got sick with a sore throat last Saturday, and I've been coughing ever since. I don't know. I've been trying to make one every weekend, but my weekends have just been really, really full. And so I doubt if it happens this weekend. I had a lot to get done before we leave on Wednesday, so I don't know, but I'm working on it. And Kathy asked me where my shop is. I did answer you in the comment section, but basically I'm in a suburb of Omaha at the northwest corner of 72nd and Harrison Street. We're in a strip mall that's kind of down in a, I wouldn't say it's a ditch, but down in the gully. And there's a Tanner's restaurant on one end, and I'm on the other end. So hopefully that helps you locate me. And that takes care pretty much of all the comments and questions that I wanted to address. I did try and respond to questions in the actual comments. I am all fuzzy today. I've been working with the fabric, and now I'm all fuzzy. Anyway, so how about we go on to our chart of the week for this week, which is an older chart. I've been trying to get it back in stock for quite some time, since well before the fall. I've been trying to get it back in stock, and finally Hoffman's got some back in. So I thought before it goes back out of stock, I would go ahead and talk about this one. It is one of my favorites from this designer. Might not be to everyone's cup of tea, but it's a really pretty sampler. And I don't even know if I wouldn't even classify it as a sampler, I guess. It's just a really pretty design. And I've got a model of it. I did not stitch the model. Marianne, who owned the store before me, stitched the model, and she's kind enough to let me keep it on the wall as a model. So thank you, Marianne. I appreciate your ongoing kindness in sharing your work with me. So this is Midnight from Barbara Anna. It's from 2014, so it's not young. It's a little older. Oh, that's the wrong thing. Here's the picture. There's the picture. Now, I don't personally care for the finish job on this. That's just me. That's just not how I would do it if it were me. So, but the picture itself, I really, really enjoy. And let me show you Marianne's. She stitched it on the called for 40 count antique white, because you can get a better idea of what it looks like this way. It says, "'Tis now the very witching time of night." It's apparently a William Shakespeare quote. I'm not a Shakespeare fan, so I don't know anything about Shakespeare, so don't know what it's from or anything, but that's what it says. Again, 40 count antique white is the called for, and it's 117 by 106. Uses all DMC. It's all cross stitches. There's some back stitching. This, and I'm gonna be right up front with you. This was not an easy one to find options for. I'm gonna go out on a limb again and say that the called for is probably a very good choice, and for several reasons. There are lighter colors in the color palette, and they tend to not show up very good on certain fabrics. Other fabrics, when you lay the colors on them, it either just blends in or it just dulled them out. So it took me a while to get into a groove when I was looking for fabric for this one. So the antique white is an excellent choice. You do not need to feel bad if that's what you want to stitch it on. And it's pretty readily available. I have it in 18 count Aida. I have it in the 40 count antique white and linen. So I don't know why I didn't take this one out of the bag. Huh. Anyway, that's what that looks like out of the bag. But you probably want some options, so I did come up with a few. Aw, they have a new puppy. My shop was right next door to the vet, and this family must have just gotten a new puppy. He's adorable. So that's what the colors look like. Sorry, puppy, I get distracted. Colors look like on the antique white. The only thing I can say that I don't necessarily like about the antique white is some of these things up right in here don't show up real well. If you're up close to it, you can see them. But from a distance, they just kind of go away. So that's the one thing that would really bother me, because if I'm going to stitch it, I want to see it. So let's get started on your options. 14 count vintage country mocha would work. And if you prefer a lighter colored fabric, this is probably the best option I could come up with for a lighter that still has color. I think everything would show up on there okay. This is a 28 count Jobelan called Sage, which is darker. And I like how that looks. This is a 40 count sampler gold from, that might be a color in cotton. And I think the colors all look nice on there. This, I don't know if they make this color anymore. Maybe, I don't know. It's called Woodland Brown. It's a Zweigart. It's a 40 count. And all the colors show up nicely on there. I had to dive heavily into my 40 count this week. This is 40 count Granite. I would call this a cross between brown and gray. So, I don't know, would you call it grayish if it's actually brown and not tan or beige? I don't know. But I think the colors look good on there. It's not quite gray. And see, to me it looks really gray there, but it's not. It's Granite. It's a Zweigart also. And then I have 40 count Chestnut from Stephanie. This is a very dark color, kind of a greenish brown, and the colors look really pretty on this one. It's a greenish brown. I mean, it's a pretty color. I love it. And then this next color, you would have to make one substitution. I wanted, because that, you know, it's midnight, so I kind of wanted a darkish bluish color maybe for the night sky, but I didn't find anything that I have in my fabrics that really was what I was looking for. But I did find one that I thought, well, this could work. But as you will see, the blue, which is the night sky and the stitching, isn't going to show up. So I would just take that blue, which is, got your pencil ready, the called for is 926, and I would change it to 924. And then it would show up. Oh, and by the way, this is 36 count smoky blue, and it's a Zweigart color. But I would change it to the darker blue, and then it would be fine. And I think it would give it would be a really pretty piece on that one too. What do you think? What's your favorite? Tell me your favorite. Can you? That is all I have for fabric this week. A couple of things. I hope you enjoyed that chart. I've stitched one. I've stitched one. I think I've only stitched one Barbara Anna. It's a Christmas one. I know my friend Connie has stitched some. Mary Ann stitched that one. So my question of the week is, have you stitched a Barbara Anna? And if so, which one? If you haven't stitched a Barbara Anna, go ahead and look up her catalog of designs and let me know which one, if you were going to stitch one, which one would that be? Sorry, I can't get rid of it. So that's your question of the week. Have you stitched Barbara Anna? If you have, what one? And if you haven't, what one would you stitch if you were going to? And even if you're not going to, you can still play the game and pretend. I'm got a tickle, a bad one. So my eyes are watering even. So that's your chart of the week. I hope you enjoyed it. And I want to chat just for a minute about market. We're leaving Wednesday. I think what I'm going to do, because I don't want to come back and be behind already with like orders, because we're going to be busy pulling people's pre-orders. So I think I'm going to have them shut down the ability to buy online for the week that I'm gone, and maybe a couple of days after, so it gives us time to pull everyone's pre-orders and get those out and shipped before we have our market open house on the 12th, Saturday. So if you try and order something after Tuesday, I'll probably maybe Tuesday afternoon, because I won't be in on Wednesday at all, so I wouldn't be able to get anything shipped out, and I hate to have you wait. So probably after Tuesday morning, I will go ahead and have them shut down the ability to pay, is what they're going to do. So don't be surprised if it says you can't order. It doesn't mean I've gone out of business or anything. It just means that I'm out of town and I don't want to come back and be behind already. So keep that in mind. We will be back in town on the Monday following market. Market starts next Friday. So we'll be back in town on late that Monday. I was planning on being open on Tuesday. I'm just going to wait and see how things are. I may be closed on Tuesday, just to get the market stuff here, get it unloaded, sorted, So I may be closed on Tuesday. And what else? If you see something, I know people walk around market and take videos and show things that like Blackbird Designs. We don't know what they're going to have. So should you happen to see something and you would like me to pick it up, you can send me an email. I will have my computer with me, so I will be checking emails every day. So feel free. If you don't have an LNS or someone that you normally purchase from, feel free to contact me with anything that you've seen. I imagine a lot of it goes on Instagram. I should figure out how to do those little video things for Instagram. And Nicole showed me one time, and then now I haven't done it, and I can't remember how to do it. So, but anyway, the upshot is, if you see something, I'm happy to pick it up while I'm there and contact you after I get back. Hang on just a second. Okay, so I totally don't remember where I was, so I'm just going to, I think, call this good. I was talking about market, when I'll be back. Contact me if you see something that shows up after we leave. And I don't know that there'll be a video next Saturday unless I do something from our hotel room. But the lighting is really poor in those hotel rooms, so I have thought about taking some light bulbs with me, like 100-watt light bulbs, to replace the ones that are in the hotel room, but we'll see. So anyway, I'm going to let you go. Let me know what you're stitching on this weekend. I'm hoping to stitch tonight during Zoom. It's just going to depend on how my day goes here. Otherwise, I still have some stuff to do on the computer. And tomorrow I have to clean because Reese is coming to spend the night. Abby's got her OB appointment Monday morning. My God, that woman is huge. Sorry, Abby. I don't think she watches my videos. But she's still got until the middle of April. And she hasn't gained that much weight, but it's all out front, and I feel so sorry for her because her tummy is big. But they're coming to spend the night on Sunday, so I need to get the rest of my decorating back up and the house cleaned up because Reese is into everything. So that will be my weekend. I will be back here on Tuesday in the shop, but leaving again. We're leaving early Wednesday morning. It's kind of exciting this time because Doreen said we can stop at some antique shops on our way. She's not into antiques at all, but she thought this would be a good trip to do it in because usually we don't leave until Wednesday afternoon, but she took the whole day off. So we're going to leave Wednesday morning and maybe stop at a few antique malls so Lori and I can have some fun. And Stacy and Doreen are probably just going to sit in the car. So anyway, I hope you have a wonderful week, and maybe I'll see you on Saturday for a brief. Maybe we could go live. I don't know how to go live, though. I don't know. Don't count on it. Otherwise, I'll be back. We'll be back a week from Saturday for sure. And maybe I'll do a new market release for my chart of the day. That'll be fun. Okay, I wish you all the best. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And have a great week. Bye.